think the first thing that we want to find out when we, from the Women's Liberation Workshop, go and talk to girls in schools, is what they think about themselves as girls and what they think about their future lives. Whether they think that it is a girl's role to become a wife and a mother, or whether they think in terms of having jobs later on. And to see, in fact, how much they're aware of existing situations and possibilities in terms of their own lives.
Members of the Women's Liberation Workshop, campaigners for women's rights, visit a 1,200-girl comprehensive school in North London. Some of the girls will stay on at school. Many more will leave at 15 and 16 to take jobs traditionally done by women: typing, clerking, serving in shops. This is the 4th year. Girls of 14 and 15, most of whom don't know what they want to do when they leave school.
All up this way. Now keep perfectly still. Can I have a smile? Not too serious. That's it. Right, thank you.
Jackie Morris is an only child. She thinks she'd like to work in a hairdresser's or look after children. Jackie Morris is 14. Jackie Pape hasn't decided whether to leave school in summer. Her father is a driver, her mother doesn't work. Jackie Pape is 15.
I mean, in what ways do you feel that it is a man's world? In what ways do you feel that you're dominated?
I think you're really pushed into thinking female sort of way, because when you're kids, when you're a little girl, you're given dolls and prams and frilly little dresses and things to play with, where boys have got trains and footballs and things like that. I don't see why that is, because I had a train set. I enjoy my train set, you know, I love playing with it. And I don't think I'm any more boyish than anybody else.
One of the things that worries me as a woman with 3 children is that my husband is able and has the freedom to have a career, run it, do what he likes, right? Whereas for me, my job is always limited in the number of hours that I'm free to work, because I have the total responsibility, really, of the 3 children. He may have the financial responsibility of supporting them, but the rest of the responsibility is mine.
Why should men always want to take it on their own backs and think, you know, oh, I've got to decide for this? Because, I mean, all right, so we're women, we have babies, but their mothers was women, you know what I mean? When I'm a mother and I'll have my little baby, it won't be a doll. Well, I don't see any point in that. I don't see why they can't play with trains and think, oh, I might be a train driver one day.
If you're a woman and you've got children and you're at home all day, you don't sit at home doing nothing. You do actually work at home. I mean, housework is housework. It's work in the house. So that why should, you know, do you think it's whether the man works very hard outside or not? The fact that both the man and the woman are working, whether they're at home or outside, doesn't make any difference when they're both together in the house. Don't you think that they should then share it then, even if, you know, he can't share it all the time because he's outside?
Why can't women take the initiative in relationships? Why is it always left to the boy or the man or whatever?
You know they want to go out with you. They come and ask you out, all right? And you go out together and everything else. But, you know, he may not even want to sort of go to bed with you or anything like that. But if you go up and ask him, you know.
I don't think there's nothing wrong in it, you know what I mean? If you
Did you do it, Jackie?
I've done it.
And what, did they say awful things about you? I mean,
No, see,
once you
I
do
knew he wanted to go with me, but he sort of was shy and he needed a bit of a push, you know? So I went up and I said, fancy coming out dancing tomorrow? If he's nice, all right, he'd go. But he said yes, so I went out with him.
Yes.
I mean, so there's nothing in it. And all his mates are there, but if you're one of those persons who don't worry about what they say, you know, it's you do what you want to do. You don't care what they think about you, you know. So as long as you know what you are yourself. You know, I see myself as a sort of girl who leaves school, gets an ordinary job, about 20, 25, get married. You know, I couldn't imagine myself as a career girl. I would work. First of all, so we could save up and get an iPhone, because these days you can't live on one person's wage, you know, the price of everything. School means something, but, you know, I wouldn't want to study or nothing like that. You know, because, I mean, the job I want to do, like looking after children, like being a nanny, you don't have to know geography and history to look after children, you know, that's the way I look at it. So if you was going to be an ice skater, you don't have to know maths to be an ice skater, you know. So some of those lessons aren't, you know, you don't have to do it.
Perhaps for girls, you know, of 14, say, these are the girls we've been talking to, it is maybe basically their future in the world as women, i.e. to think about fundamental questions of marriage and having children, and to go on from there and see how that relates to other things that they can do and to the way society is actually structured. You know, who in fact is giving them a choice of what they're doing? How much choice do they actually have when they choose a career? Do they know exactly what they're choosing? Do they know exactly what other choices they might have?
I'm a funny person in myself, you know, to describe, because I'm very moody and I slam about sometimes for no reason at all. I just got a hump with everybody. But other times, I wouldn't care what happened. I'd still laugh. I'd joke and, you know, muck about.
I've always been in a crowd with boys, and I just used to think they had more fun because they could always wear trousers, and you know, I used to climb up the trees and I could never get up them. Too fat, you see, and I used to wish I was a boy. My parents worry, you know, when I go around with all the boys and the tough boots and everything, but if they think I'm enjoying myself, you know, and I'm not getting into any trouble really myself, they don't think, you know, they wouldn't stop me, I don't think. It's only if I stay out late. It's tough, I'm a girl, I've got to stay that way. I suppose in 10 years' time I'll be married with about 3 kids. I don't really know. Well, it depends. If I, you know, if I was to have a good career, maybe I wouldn't get married early. But seeing as I doubt that very much, I suppose I will get married. I might not have any children then, though, because it depends if I can afford it. See, because if I can't afford it, I don't want many children, because otherwise I won't be able to give them all the best sort of thing, you know. So well, I think it'll be a bit tough on them, really.
But I think whole areas of opportunity has been cut off from them. In other words, they've been brought up to believe that their role in life is to fulfill their biological function, in a sense. In other words, they're going to grow up and be wives and mothers primarily. They're not encouraged to believe that they're going to have a career which is equal to that of a man's career.
Right, back straight, uncross your legs, relax, fingers on the keys, eyes on the copy. Are you ready? Go.
So boring typing, you're doing the same thing over and over again. I could never settle down typing. I don't think I could have an office job either. It's too closed in, you know. I don't like it at all. Art I'm good at, you know. This comes first every year. Except last year I never took the exams. No, it's not like a lesson where they make you do, you know, what you don't want to do. Please yourself.
Stop! 24 more minutes. Hands out those visits. Right, hands down up to your faces. I'm going to start every quarter of a minute now for 32 words a minute.
They have a flat which they're taught to manage, and they have to be in it for a week and look after it, and cook and look after themselves. Well, this is fine. On the other hand, it's the girls who are doing this and not the boys. Now, this means that girls are specifically being trained to manage the house, and boys are being trained for the world, for activity.
I think the idea of people staying in this flat for a week is they're supposed to get to know how to handle money and look after sort of the flat and keep it clean and tidy and go shopping and see how well you can manage. I think it's really a way to prepare you for if you were to leave home or something like this, or even to help your mother. They do a lot of that in the social education department. They teach you sort of what's outside, more than what you're going to do when you're taking exams.
You know, I'm making custard now, and I think, you know, it helps you if you do it in school for when you get out into the outside world, you know. It helps you then, you know what to do. But I like doing this better than lessons because it's more real, you know, real to life than what the lessons are.
The methods that we're using at the moment are to get women together to talk about themselves and their condition, and to try, if you like, to increase their level of consciousness about what it is to be a woman in our society. And from that is a sort of stepping stone on to action in order to change the society in which they're living. But without that consciousness, nothing can happen.
What have your parents, your mother, what has she got to buy every week?
Milk, bread,
Butter,
eggs.
What else?
sugar,
Set sugar, what else?
tea, coffee, milk. Well, now we're thinking of a few things. Just for a minute, let's slow up. In a household of 3 children, a lot of you said £2 of butter.
Would you think that was a fair average?
Yeah.
What else do we have to buy? Sugar, you said. How much sugar?
4 pounds.
And if we have to buy eggs, how many eggs are we getting? 5 people? 1 dozen?
2 dozen.
2 dozen eggs. How much bacon?
£10.
5 people.
£5.
Now, what I want you to do, after you've thought a little bit more about it, is write out a shopping list.
I don't think that the education these girls have received to date has damaged them beyond repair, but I do think that it has probably encouraged them to view their future as fulfilling their biological role. I mean, they're trained throughout the education system. They are taught domestic science. Boys are not taught domestic science. They're I don't know, the whole sort of process that they're exposed to, not only in education, but through the mass media.
Are you going to get engaged to Arthur, Jack?
Oh, not yet. 14, engaged. Open your eyes. Look up.
I better look a right view with this on.
No, it should... Oh, up. Should look alright when it's done.
Should.
Just look out with that boy.
Steve?
Yeah.
3 months, isn't it?
Open up. 3 months?
Yeah.
Did you go out with him when I first went out with Arthur?
So when was you first going out of Arthur?
Don't... I should have gone in about 2 months.
I was going out with him before that then, wasn't I?
Must have been. That's what you looked at.
Oh, great.
No, it will look alright. It will.
Sure you don't trust me, Joke.
No.
Good photo.
Open your eye. Well, before I start going out with somebody, I look for their looks first of all. Then when I get to know, I see what sort of personality they've got. No. They must have money, can't be poor. And don't want a type of boy, you know, knocks you around and all that. Although I think you like them better if they hit you. Like boys who are all over you, loving you and all that. I don't like boys like that. I like boys who shout you and hit you sometimes, you know.
Why that?
I don't know, I think, you know, you just, like, but you think the others are silly if they're all, you know, bring you a bunch of flowers and, you know, silly things like that. I think if, you know, they still treat you nice, but, you know, they say, like, they don't say, oh, all right, and, you know, I don't like, you know, I like boys who, you know, got their say in it as well.
A child automatically assumes that its mother is the right person to be responsible for that child. And this theory is perpetuated in the education in the way that girls are conditioned to feel that in their turn they themselves will be totally responsible for the care and education of their children. And this happens in schools too.
And they don't see men at work. Very few schools, primary schools, have men teachers. In fact, very few secondary schools have men teachers.
Having children is still considered, both in theory and in practice, the responsibility of the woman and of the mother. And one of the things that we would really like to see changed, and one of the things we would really like to help change, is this, both in the home and outside. We'd like to see more men teaching children in primary schools, looking after children officially, not just privately.
I love kids because, you know, I've always been an only child and I come round here from my school every Tuesday and Friday and I'd like to teach these age group of children. I don't think I will because the exams and that. And my mother come from a big family, she had 15 in her family. So I was never lonely, I always had my aunts and uncles around me. But when I get married, I won't just have one child, I'll have about 6. If I could afford to keep them. They made up a soft bed for her.
Alice, I'm burning.
A soft bed for her in the corner of the cave, and there she slept.
but one bit of last night the robbers stopped a carriage which had but one passenger, an orphan named Tiffany.
But she was met a wicked auntie.
She was on her way to live with a wicked aunt.
Outside school, Jackie Morris works at a local women's hairdresser's, 14 hours each week, more in holidays. She's not kept short of money by her parents. She doesn't need to work. She does because she likes the contact of an adult working world.
If I had the chance, I would stay at home because, well, I never have packed up work. I've been working since I was 14 in hairdressers, and I've had this shop 8 years. And I think now I'd like to sort of be able to look after my son full time, if it was possible. But as I say, if you do pack up work and you've been used to the money, it must be very hard to go back to asking for every penny you want.
You are lumber, didn't you? You've got the 3 children, you can't go anywhere. If you haven't got any money, where can you go? So you've got to ask your husband for the money. So you are, once you're married, I think that's that.
When I'm at school, I work every Friday night and Saturday, but on holidays I work in a week, and I get about £4, and that goes on type and cigarettes, or if I save up, if I see something I like, I save up and buy it. No, and it comes in handy, the money. So, you lose a lot of your freedom, I think, when you get married. Especially if, like, you don't go to work and he does, then he can go out and have a drink whenever he likes, and you can't because he says, you know, you have to ask him for every penny you get. No, I think if you go out to work, I think you're on a better, like, basis than if you're at home not working, because you can always sort of say, well, I go out to work as well, you're not the only one, you know.
Well, I'm just an housewife. That's all. Thousands of people like me, just an housewife. I think nothing in that, is there? Just to be that. Is it? I mean, Jackie could leave school, or any girl, 15, 16, get married and be an housewife, and as quick as that. You couldn't get a career as quick as that. You've got to be trained, and you've got to be brains, and to earn the money.
How would you feel about asking your husband for money for something that you wanted for yourself? Would you rather be in a position of, you know, being able to go and draw it, say, from a savings account, or do you feel happy to go to him and say, look, love, I've seen a dress and I want it, can I have the money for it?
I'd feel guilty asking him for it, taking it away from him.
You would feel guilty?
I think so, really, to ask for something for myself, you know. I wouldn't mind if it was for the kids or something for the house, but not for myself. I'd feel as if I was robbing him from it.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would. Well, I wouldn't. I think it's right, you know, you go and ask your husband for... So, yes, I think a woman should do that a couple of times.
It's a partnership, isn't it? Well, it does not necessarily mean you're going to, if your husband doesn't have it in the house, it means you're the sort of individuals. You're not sort of together, sort of doing things together to bring you closer together. It's sort of straying apart. Marriage is when you're both together. That's what you do when you go up the aisle.
They don't expect to be expected to do the washing up or anything else. You're the only person that I agree with, and no one ever agrees with me. What I say, they think I'm me. They expect their fellas to go and do all the work. I'd like him to sit down, put his feet up and everything, you know.
Jackie, if you marry Arthur,
how would you arrange your life to come? Are you going to, before you get married, say, right, Arthur, you're going to look after all that lot, I'm going to look after all that lot, or will you just take it as it comes?
Just take it as it comes. Because I think if you... So what do you mean? Like you say you have that lot and you have that?
Well, he's got to clean the bathroom on Friday.
No,
kitchen on Sunday.
Don't be silly. Because saying that clean the bath, you naturally, whether it's a man, a boy, anything, you clean the bath out after you've got out of the bath. So it don't matter what you are, does it?
Do you think that the problem...
Perhaps your husband does, but most people do.
But what about other things? What about decision making?
I think if you're married, you know, like, and you're making decisions, I think you both should make them together, not just he makes them all the time or you make them all the time. You should work on that together, decision making. You know, what you're going to do next and all things like that.
You know, it would have been worth my trouble, wouldn't it? Does Arthur want to get engaged?
He does, but you know what I mean, it's, you know...
I think a bit young really, Joe.
It is, isn't it?
You're only 14, don't you?
How do you think about that with Steve?
I don't really know, I mean, it's only been 3 months.
Yeah,
I mean, you
well.
can't really sort of say that, can you, after that? I mean, my dad would blow his top anyway.
Yeah, but you do, really.
I suppose, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's really... Well, I want, you know, he's a terrific guy and everything, you know, you couldn't wish for a nicer bloke, but whether, I mean, thinking about getting engaged, because once you get engaged, really, that's always as good as being married, really. I mean, I know it's
Oh,
not,
no, because you can always call it off.
Yeah, but what's the point of that? Because it's
Yeah,
just
but
a lot
I
of
mean, with
heartbreak, really.
yeah, but when you're married, you have to go through that course and divorce, well, you don't have to when you're engaged, you can just take it off.
When little girls are growing up, the only people they can identify with is their mothers, who usually stay at home and have their hands in the kitchen sink, whereas little boys see their fathers going out to work. I don't think that little girls automatically identify with their fathers, they tend to identify with their mothers. And I think this, again, is a form of conditioning.
And one of the most pernicious forms of conditioning is the conditioning of advertising, the mass media, newspapers, magazines, television, films, who are constantly perpetuating the image of the perfect, frail, immaculate woman who exists as a sexual object, who exists to serve basically men, because men are the doers and women are the passive creatures.
Most of these girls will work before they marry, and some may return to work when their children are old enough. Potential school leavers are given conducted tours of possible workplaces for women. They'll visit chain stores and typing pools, perhaps a hospital, probably a bank. Today it's a biscuit factory.
What's happening here is that the biscuits are being sorted out into the number of rows that are needed for the wrapping machine.
The money's good, you know, for what they do. I mean, they're only sitting there, it's not as if they've got to work, you know, hard for their money.
Spending, what, 8 hours there for 5 days a week, year in and year out, it's just too much, it's too boring, there's not enough going on.
It'd be different if you was working on different things. Going on the same machine. I mean, I think I'd get fed up. Okay, you can eat all the biscuits, but you get as fat as anything, wouldn't you? I'd like to work there. I don't know why, but I think it's a sort of... I don't know, I think... If I didn't get school, if I didn't get on, and I've just come out and I've got no, like, CSEs or anything, I'd like to work there.
No, like they're only sitting there watching the machines. But I don't think, if you're not... You know, if you're bored with a job, I don't care how much you get. I still think, you know, you ought not to be bored. You ought to have a job that you enjoy. All this is what people say about women's rights and that. Well, no one's stopping me from whatever I want to do. You know, like, if I get married or if I go out to work, I'm just going to have a ball and enjoy myself.
I want to be happy. I think I get it mainly, you know, when I get married, have kids with my family.
But I reckon you've got to pack as much into your life before you're 24, because after that you're dying.